This week on the Digital Coffee, Facebook is launching paid events, which are a little bit like shops. Facebook users are going to be able to control what updates they see from your page, and Instagram is fighting the bots. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb. A couple of years ago, it may have only been a year ago actually, Mari Smith at a talk that she was giving talked about how Facebook might be becoming a little bit more like WeChat. Now, if you're not familiar with WeChat is the Chinese social network that basically controls your entire life. It's a social network, but you can also do your grocery shopping, any of your shopping, book a hair appointment. It tracks you wherever you go, and it just is part of your life. It is huge. It is the social network they use in China, mostly because all the American ones are banned. but we'll talk about TikTok again. And she said this, and I was, no, that's never going to happen. Don't be silly. That's crazy talk. But I do feel like actually it is beginning to happen. And the latest development is just one step closer to that. Facebook are launching paid events. Paid events means, of course, you could already set up your event and put an Eventbrite link or a link to your website to buy tickets. But now you will be able to set up the event and take payment directly from Facebook. It's going to be brilliant for small businesses. It's so accessible to everyone. You won't need to go and set up another account or even have a website to promote your event. So from that point of view, it's really good. Facebook aren't going to charge a fee for the rest of the year. It was actually quite unclear in their language whether it was the rest of the year or for a year. They're not charging any fees. If you buy on Android, if somebody buys on Android, there will be no fees. If people buy on an iOS device, Apple do take a cut. So you will lose some money through that. But all in all, it seems like a great option for business. So why was I talking about Mari Smith? Why was I talking about WeChat? Why is this a step closer to WeChat? Well, when we think about it, all of these tools are fantastic for businesses, but it removes the need to have any other websites. Your own website, Eventbrite, who I'm sure are going to be not delighted about this update. Everything will happen on Facebook and they will have way too much control of our lives. So I am cautiously excited about this update, but I do think we have to tread carefully and realize actually, we're not China. There's people out there that don't use Facebook and the law doesn't require us to use Facebook. It is nice that other social networks exist. When people follow your Facebook page, what do they see? Well, if they follow the page, we kind of expect that they could see, depending on the algorithm, any of the posts that you put on your page. But this week, Facebook is rolling out the chance for people to control exactly what they see from your feed. So they won't necessarily see everything. They'll be able to sign up for posts, all posts, videos, live videos, or offers. They'll be able to switch that on or off, but they'll also be able to subscribe just to the highlights or to all posts from those things. Now, I like this. I like the fact that Facebook is giving us as humans a little bit of control over what we see on our pages. From a user point of view, I think this is good. It's a way for us not to override the algorithm, but maybe to inform the algorithm a little bit more. It's a bit like those Betty Crocker. Remember the Betty Crocker cakes? You used to have to add an egg. Before you had to add an egg, people didn't buy them because they felt like they had no control over the process. From that point of view, it's good. From a business page point of view, I'm not so sure, because how do we measure? How do we know who may see our content? Now, I am jumping the gun a little bit because I don't know if this is available on my page yet. I don't know how many users this is rolled out to, and maybe there'll be a new statistic. I would love if there was a statistic. If there's a statistic all is forgiven, Facebook, that will show me what sort of content people follow, because that will give me a better idea of the sort of content I should be creating. But otherwise, I'm getting a false idea of who's following my page, aren't I? So I'm not a big fan of this development from a business page point of view, but from a user point of view, I think it's absolutely fabulous. Instagram has a bot problem. You're probably aware of this. What do I mean by a bot? So there are tools that you can use that will automate some of the tasks that you do on Instagram. Not talking about scheduling, that's allowed, but it's stuff like the follow unfollow thing. You can set up bots to follow and unfollow people so you can build your following. Or you can set up bots that will, on a trigger word, comment on people's posts or like people's posts. You can even have a whole account that is automated. And when I say you can, actually you can't. Instagram banned bots. You cannot use legitimately any of these tools. It's against Instagram's terms and conditions. But obviously people are still using them. We're still getting poor quality comments. We're still getting bizarre follow unfollow behavior. And it really does ruin the Instagram experience. And that's why it's a problem. I think the more that this continues, firstly, users are going to get tired of it. But secondly, businesses who they need to advertise on the account are going to get frustrated that their follow account maybe isn't real, or that these sort of behaviors are there. It makes it less trustworthy. So what are they going to do? They already banned bots and there's still bots there. Well, the new tactic they're going to do is they're going to, if they detect some bot-like behavior on your account, they're going to ask you to upload your ID. Much as we do on Facebook, if they catch you being like a business running as a profile, they'll ask you to upload your profile just to confirm that you are who you are. And obviously, if you're running your business name, they'll either force you to change that to a personal account, or they'll get rid of you. So it's the same sort of process, but with one difference. On Instagram, you're not required to use your real name. So all the ID is doing is confirming that, yes, you are a human being. So you're not a bot running the account, and that's it. They're not going to force you to change your name. In fact, they said, let me see if I can get the quote. They said pseudonymity, which is a word I didn't know existed until today. Pseudonymity is still important. It's actually at the heart of Instagram. Will this get rid of bots? Even as I'm telling you, I'm kind of like, well, very often those automation tools are on an account that's run by a human being. So I'm not sure. Will it get rid of bots? I don't know. How should a business react when it's in a crisis? Well, I think TikTok have been a shining example of what a business should do in a crisis. We've seen since the initial ban in India, then the UK talking about banning them, Australia talking about banning them, of course, then President Trump's actual ban, well, potential ban of TikTok. They have been reacting really well. The first thing they did is they made business tools, business advertising available for free. They were giving away vouchers. They started talking about transparency of their algorithm. They said they were going to tell us a lot more about their moderation policy. They are becoming a lot more transparent than any other social network out there. And this week they launched an information center. It's essentially a blog. And it's information center designed to combat the fake information and other news that is out there about TikTok. And this is really smart because it gives journalists, it gives social media a place where TikTok are able to share their entire story, their entire take on what is happening, rather than just little tweetable clips or little things that people put in newspaper articles or comments. This is a very smart and actually quite traditional way of dealing with a crisis. And actually, as businesses, we can learn from this. Hopefully, we're never going to be in a situation where the President of the United States tries to close down our business. But even for a smaller crisis, having some sort of information center, having a blog post where you can put across your side of the story in a very coherent and safe manner is an excellent way to combat it. I'm wondering Is short video content, a bit like you see on TikTok, going to be the future of social media content altogether? We've heard the likes of Mark Zuckerberg say before that stories is going to be the future of social media content. Before that, video is going to be the future of social media content. Well, short video clips kind of brings all that together, doesn't it? Stories and videos together. The reason I'm talking about this is because Facebook have just launched a new short video function to users in India. And you may remember that India is the first place where they banned TikTok. The short video, they're not like TikTok at all, but let's face it, we're talking Facebook users. They're not the most innovative and creative people always. I know, you're watching this on Facebook, but still, it's not like Instagram, which we're able to go a lot further towards the TikTok method. But they are going to be short video clips that are 26 seconds long maximum. You will be able to upload a longer clip and edit it down. And you'll be able to do things like add music. And you will be able to add text that appears at a specific point in the video. So ever so slightly TikTok-y, not full on effects and tricks TikTok-y, but quite TikTok-y. And this is what makes me think so many companies are jumping in now, trying to replicate TikTok even before it was banned anywhere, that really, if people really embrace this, this could be the way that we're communicating with each other in the future, which I think is great for creative people. But what about people that don't want to create video? Are they going to get left behind? Is scrolling dead? You know, that's how we navigate the internet, isn't it? We go to Google and we scroll through the Google results and click the one that's relevant. On our social networks, we scroll. And I wonder how much information we actually take in when we scroll. If a post doesn't catch our eye, do we give it more than a little glance? Do we even know we're seeing posts from people in the feed? I don't know the answer. I can't get inside my brain and know how much I take in from scrolling. But could there be a different way for us to access content in feeds? Could scrolling be dead and something else be on its way? Well, possibly, because LinkedIn is testing a new way to navigate the feed. And look at this. Basically, you can see on the right-hand side, it's a bit like an Instagram story or a Facebook story. You can see the number of items that you've got to scroll through, and you basically just flip up and down to see the different stories. If any of you are actually using Flipboard, you'll be familiar with this interface. Now, the comments on Jane Manchun Wong's post about this were very negative. People hated it. They really hated the idea of looking at the newsfeed this way. But we know we hate change, right? And I'm just wondering, is this sort of navigation going to creep into all social networks? And will it help us to consume stories better? I know one of the problems that I have is that I get messages from everywhere, right? You're probably the same if you're a business. You're getting Instagram messages, you're getting Facebook messages, you're getting Twitter messages, you've got email, you've got TikTok, you've got LinkedIn, all these places people are sending you messages. And sometimes these are business inquiries. And it can be frustrating. I've often forgotten, because I don't use Instagram so much, I got a message on Instagram. I'll often forget and I'll not get back to people. And particularly actually if they come in through my personal account on Facebook, because I don't want that, I want to make that little red thing go away. I'll always look at them and then instantly forget about them. We know that Facebook has been looking at tackling this. They're looking at merging Messenger, WhatsApp and Instagram direct messaging. And I think they announced this about a year ago. I think that was when they told us. But it's happening. It's actually beginning to happen now. And I have two news stories this week related to it. The first one is that you're going to be able to, and this seems to be actually being rolled out before, we talked about it when it was a rumor, you're going to be able to access messages to your Facebook page through your regular personal messenger. And at first I was like, that's not a good idea, because I'm going to want to get rid of that little red notification on my messenger button, and I'll forget about them, or they'll come in at the weekend and whatever. But actually, look at this. It looks like a really good way to navigate to your Facebook page messages. It's a bit like Instagram. If you run multiple accounts on Instagram, you can just switch accounts. So I think that would be fabulous, but particularly for social media managers who manage a lot of pages. It means you don't have to do all that clicking, and the apps are really slow to get to your Facebook page messages. The second one, I think people on Instagram who don't like using Facebook won't be so much of a fan of. And this is what has popped up on somebody's Instagram direct messaging, saying that you'll now be able to message people on Instagram from Facebook Messenger. And I think a lot of people like to pretend that Instagram has nothing to do with Facebook, and this is just one little reminder that it does. But again, from a business point of view, this is good, right? I know when we access our business page, we can actually see messages from Instagram and Facebook in the same place, but with so many people doing business on mobile, it makes sense to bring them all together. But one thing, I was talking about WeChat at the beginning of the show. I get messages on non-Facebook platforms. I get messages on Twitter and LinkedIn and TikTok, and of course email, phone, text message, iMessage. I could go through them all. Rather than have them all integrated into Facebook, I'd just like a tool that was able to integrate all those messages together. And at the moment, they can't do that because people like LinkedIn and actually even Instagram won't let you access those messages through a third-party tool. But to me, that would be the best solution.